All right, so running effective interviews. Turns out it's not just the candidates that get nervous about interviews. Often for line managers, we find that maybe they've had a bad experience of a hire before, or just the fact of it being such a huge responsibility, selecting the next person to join the company can almost lead to a lot of second guessing, and it just means that the interview doesn't flow as well as it maybe could, and you can miss out on essential cues. The other thing to really remember when interviewing is that it's a two-way conversation. So an interview should be as much for the candidate to decide whether they want to join your company as it is for you to decide whether they're the right fit for the role. So make sure you allow lots of time for them to ask you questions. Sometimes I like to ask for questions at the start because they might have things that are kind of on their mind already. And also take the opportunity to really spend time explaining the company, the role, the culture, the values. So to sell it, but also to just make sure it's the right match for them. So being really honest, kind of warts and all, so that they know what they're walking into. So something that we often run for our clients is interview training sessions for the line managers, just to build that confidence and to give them a bit more structure to use, and you know, just ensuring that they get the best results from the interviews that they're running. One debate that often ensues in those meetings is whether it's better to go for a structured interview with kind of pre-prescribed questions and a scoring structure, or whether it's better to be much more informal and more of a conversation. And my advice is always somewhere in the middle. So I like to prepare maybe 5 questions beforehand. So maybe a couple of competency-based questions and a few strength-based questions, and then let the conversation run from there. So you've always got that structure to go back to make sure that the interview keeps flowing and that you cover all of those essential points. But whatever the candidate is saying, you're really listening to what they're saying and then following up with these why questions, which are kind of, okay, tell me more about that. Okay, why did you decide to do that? Why was that important to you? And that's where you're really going to find out about the motivations of the candidate, what makes them tick, and whether essentially they're going to be the right fit for your team. And the final thing with interviewing is just to keep the process going. I think time kills all deals is kind of one of those old-fashioned phrases. You know, keeping people waiting or not delivering news when they're expecting news is something that is really frustrating for candidates. It's also a great way to lose the best talent because they can get snapped up elsewhere. So, you know, keep to those timelines. But there's lots more information. We also have lots of example questions available on the article that I've written. And also for Hewitt clients, we do offer a 2-hour interactive workshop for your line managers. So if you'd like to book that in, then please just get in touch.